All right, magic makers. I'm always excited about the guests I have on because I only bring you the people that I think are going to give you the best information about all the stuff that's swirling around us ladies over 40. And today I have Dr. Nayan Patel, and he is a pharmacist and the author of The Glutathione Revolution. He has spent more than a decade studying this one tiny antioxidant with massive impact on how our energy is impacted, aging, brain fog, inflammation, sleep, stubborn weight gain. If you have been saying, "Ugh, why do I feel so off? And I'm doing all the things, keep listening, sister, because this is for you. Welcome to the show, Dr. Patel.
Oh, thank you for having me here today.
Yeah, I feel like, glutathione is this like big word, right?
Yeah.
You hear it and you're like, "Ew, what is that? Is that a disease? Is it a supplement? What exactly is that?" So for people who have like, I've heard the word, but I have no idea what it is. What the heck is it?
And if you never heard about it before, trust me, you're not alone. I have physicians who think that I think they should know about this molecule, and even then well, I thought I saw that in one of my med school, but never learned about it. What is it, right? So, and the reason you should know about this thing is one reason. This is the most abundant molecule produced in human body. Uh, the number one thing the body needs to survive is air. We don't make air, we breathe air. The number two is water. We don't make water, we drink water, right? And number three is glutathione, which we do make it. And because when you take a lot of air, our body needs to neutralize all the oxygen that comes in because oxygen is toxic. And to neutralize those toxic air,
Hmm.
you need body needs to produce glutathione to do so. So glutathione is in a chemical term, it's a peptide. It's a three amino acid coming together, and we can dive into more detail if you want me to. But it's one of the simplest form of peptide that body produces
Hmm.
to neutralize all the free radicals that's created because of you breathing oxygen.
Huh. So let's also take that step back too, because nowadays we all hear about these free radicals. So what is a free radical?
So free radicals are those teenage kids in your house roaming out, destroying your whole house. No, just on a serious note, these are those same intensity of problem that the teenagers have in your house, even more
Hmm.
was in your body, right? Free radicals are those oxygen species, nitrogen species. These are reactive species, chemically charged, electronically charged molecule that can actually destroy the body from inside. It's this if you see visually what it feels like it, if you have a nail out in the open that is getting rusted,
Hmm.
that rusting is oxidation,
Ah.
right? And once it's completely rusted, it's oxidative stress. Basically, you cannot go back to normal again, right?
Hmm.
And it will eat you alive from inside out. And
Gotcha.
so that's what the free radicals do to your body. It rusts your whole body from inside out.
So if we were kind of looking at it from our body, like what would we experience if we had a lot of these free radicals running around?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. So you asked me a question about diseases as to what kind of problems can I have in my body if I have all these free radicals inside my body? Well, I would urge you to ask your favorite AI robot. Now, there's everybody has a favorite AI. People have ChatGPT. I work with Gemini. I work with Bard. I said I don't care who your favorite robot is. Ask them the question:
Hmm.
can you give me a link to what diseases can I have because of oxidative stress?
Mm.
Oxidation is what we call it is free radicals. Oxidative stress is what you're going to get. And
Gotcha.
if you think about oxidative stress diseases, the list is actually every single disease in the world.
Wow.
So there you go. So that's what the response you need to have is that, oh my God, if I don't take one thing, take care of just one thing, it can literally affect each and every diseases in the world.
Gotcha. Wow. 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 So yeah, so clearing free radicals, ladies, that's something we want to put on our to-do list. So basically what you just said, that explains to me. My next question was like, why did you go all in on this? And I've just got my answer because it's a kind of the, I guess, the building blocks of all the things that, we are all trying to prevent.
Well, I got into this glutathione research is because 140 years we have known about glutathione. Nobody has ever figured out how to get inside your body, inside your cells.
Ah,
So you can inject it, you can take some technology products. None of them actually ever enters inside your cells.
hmm,
It's like, just imagine only money can buy things, right? You have to
right.
have hard old cash to buy things.
Hmm.
Good old days, right? You throw a coin on the table and you get a, in a saloon bar and you get your drink, right? You throw a credit card over there in the saloon bar and say, sir, what is this thing? Get out of here. I want real money only, right?
Right, right,
Imagine we in the world where you only have real money. What if there's no money in your wallet? You can't spend it.
right.
What if the money is stuck in some bank account? It's yours, but the bank is not open today. They're closed for the weekend. You have no access to it, right? So glutathione is something like money, right? You got to have it inside your own cells where it's supposed to be, does all the work. If it's not there, if it's outside the cell, it doesn't do anything for you.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
that was the reason why I started working to my pharmacy. I said, hey, I gotta figure out how to get inside your cell.
Mm,
That was my overarching goal, and I spent my whole life on doing that part.
gotcha. So now, I'm sold on glutathione.
Uh-huh.
Now for us ladies over 40, does it matter even more, or has it always mattered, but because we're kind of uh probably accumulated more free radicals over the course of our lives, it kind of has jumped to the forefront?
So about the age of 30 is when your body is sort of in an equilibrium.
Mm,
That age is getting distorted completely now because of young kids have. I was just talking to another doctor this morning, uh, and he deals with a lot of kids, and these are 6, 10-year-old kids coming with metabolic disorders.
yeah,
Metabolic disorders was supposed to be in the 50s,
right, right.
not a 6 and a 10-year-old. That means in 5 years or 6 years, the diet have already given them diseases. It
Oof.
is absolutely insane,
Mm,
right? And so you talk about the ladies in the 40s. Thank God they're in the 40s right now because when they grew up, there was no cell phones,
yeah, true.
right? They didn't get a cell phone until they were in the teenage years or maybe later on in the life, or there was junk food, but the junk food was not available to us all the time because guess what? We're supposed to eat home cooked meals. And if you want to go eat out at a restaurant, was because I have a birthday today, or I have some other event or some party. Today, nobody cooks at home.
Not really,
Right.
yeah.
And so in reality, that age 30 that I said earlier is an arbitrary number right now. But most people over the age of 30 are seeing the early onset of what oxidative stress is doing to your body. Is
Mm,
increasing slowly, right? Not enough to give you any diseases, not enough to give you any problems at this time, but it's just there so that you know that, hey, I'm not the same person anymore. I'm aging now. You can feel it. There's something. So gosh, I used to do all these things when I was like 5 years younger, right? Now I
right,
can't.
right.
And so that's what's happening. And for ladies, unfortunately, once you hit 40 or 42, you also kicks in perimenopause kicks in. This is the last 10 years before you go into menopause. And
Mm.
that's a whole another storm I don't want to touch, right? I'm not a storm chaser,
Right,
but that is
right.
absolutely a storm that's brewing in there. And that's also affecting your oxidative stress responses as well.
Hmm.
And so all these things is basically snowballing into an avalanche that nobody's going to survive at the end when it comes down right before you hit menopause.
Right,
As
right.
soon as you hit menopause, there's a whole thing goes, zoom, just diffuses every single thing out in terms of the hormones, but
Right,
not in terms of the problems, because the problems are going to start accumulating
right.
and it gets worse and worse and worse. And when you hit menopause, hormonally you'll be okay, but now you have developed all kinds of diseases that have brewed in this avalanche coming down the hill.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. So, for the women who are listening, so now as you break things down, now you're kind of realizing that's why like the accumulation has been happening slowly but surely. And eventually we get to that kind of tipping point where it all kind of starts to, the roosters come home to roost. And now that's why a lot of us are feeling, you know, lethargic, brain fog, and just feeling like it just came on overnight when it really was just kind of like a slow burn, if we will.
That is exactly right. And I'll tell you that I tell all my doctor friends and my pharmacists, everybody, right? By the time you detect something in your blood test or a scan or some testing you do, it is usually brewing for about 15 to 20 years. Years,
Yeah.
not days, right? Years. Like, for example, what happened, let's say you're 20 years old, right? Uh, Hopefully not drinking yet because it's illegal. But I'm not a police cop for that one, so don't hold me for that one. So you're behaving, you're a good kid, everything is fine, and you hit 21 and say, oh my God, I can legally drink now. So you start drinking for the first time, right? And of course, when you're young, you can, my God, he has a liver of a rock. He can drink all night and still be awake in the morning and no problem whatsoever, right?
Right.
That happens early on, and your body, what happens is that it gets bad and comes back to normal. Gets bad, comes back to normal. Every single day it goes out and comes back in, comes back in. But after the age of 21, this coming back starts shifting.
Yeah.
Goes out and comes back normal. Starts shifting again, right? That means it is coming back, but it's only coming back to a certain stage.
Mm,
And that's your new normal for you,
right.
right? Before you can drink a bottle of whiskey a day. Now you can barely drink half a whiskey a day, and now eventually we're down to 2 shots a day. That's a bad example, by I'm so sorry for that one.
No,
But
no, but I think we get it, because a lot of my women over 40 is like, and alcohol is a perfect example. Because I think it's the one we would most notice that like, oh gosh, I used to be able to go out and have like 2 glasses of wine at dinner and wake up in the morning and feel absolutely fabulous. And then now I'm like, you're hungover for 3 days because you just can't you just don't recover the way you did, like you said, in your 20s.
that's right. But when it comes to the human physiology, it's even worse because the human body is actually shifting towards making worse and worse and worse. But since it's coming back to normal, there are no signals
Right.
that you can detect that there's something wrong with you. Because when you go to the doctor's office, when they do a blood draw, what they're looking for is a signal that the body's telling you, said, hey, something is wrong. Hey, look at me, something is wrong over here. If they don't see a signal, there's nothing wrong with you. But I have all these problems. Well, Kim, I can't, I don't want to tell you, but your blood test looks normal. You're
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
But I'm not fine. I feel bad. No, no, you're fine. Trust me, you're fine. I said, and then you go, there gets a vicious cycle. So what's happening is that your body is shifting towards a new normal,
Mm,
right? And then eventually one day it's going to happen where you go back out and you never come back to normal.
yeah.
And there's a gap. This gap is what we call oxidative stress.
Gotcha.
This gap is what the doctor is looking for.
Mm,
This gap is what they end up showing on a blood test or a saliva test or MRI or whatever, right? But this gap does not happen until at least 10 to 15 to 20 years
ooh,
for body going out and come back to normal, going out, coming back to normal. And eventually it doesn't return to normal.
right. And
And
oops, sorry.
so I just want to make sure people understand that part. So please don't rely on me or any physicians that's out there that's going to find the problem for you. You already know what the problem is. Work on it today. You'll never need us ever in the life.
You hit the nail on the head. There were like a couple things that you said that I want to like unpack. Number one, so many of us have been, and I don't know where this has come from, but we've become so reliant that blood work is going to be the answer.
Mhm.
And you just said it. You're like, you feel something is off. Like we know our own bodies, but
Yeah,
we can justify so many things. Oh, I didn't sleep last night. Oh, I'm tired, not drinking enough water. And you can always justify all of these things. And then when your doctor tells you, like, not seeing anything, Mrs. Jones, see you in 6 months. And if something really feels bad, call. And we like don't take for granted that our own body intuition of being like, hey, we need to pay attention over here. Something is just off. And, you just don't really know what it is. But as long as you get the blood work saying you're okay, you kind of say you're okay.
And that is exactly what my point was. I want people to take your health in your own hands, and don't wait for the doctors to tell you that you are out of range now. Because
Right.
when the doctor tells you that you're out of range, or your sugar is elevated now, or it's still not diabetes yet, but it's getting elevated, it's too late now. Or your
Right.
cholesterol is getting higher, or your hair is falling out, which you can see anyways, but your thigh is getting a little weaker. All those things are just telling me is that it didn't happen overnight.
No.
It's years of brewing until today.
Mm.
And when the doctor tells you, hey, let's just wait and see, what he's telling you is that come back in 6 months because at that time you'll have a disease that I can treat you.
Right. Exactly. Like you're not checking enough boxes for it to be something,
Yeah,
but you are checking some boxes.
of course you're checking. So,
So is oxidative stress pretty much like kind of the missing piece for many of the midlife symptoms that most of us might be feeling?
so I want to make sure that when you talk about midlife symptoms, I want to remove symptoms due to hormone
Per
imbalances completely out of the
Right.
picture.
For me, I'm like, and for those of guys listening, and I get it, like everything is so like intermingled,
Correct. Yes.
and I like, and I really, and we could sit here and go back and forth, like, well, is that a hormone? Is that this? And we could go back and forth on both of those things, but I think before you got to like, let's just use 41 as the age.
Huh?
Something tells me that before you got to age 41, which is probably about 10 years before most people enter menopause, somewhere between 51 and 52. So let's just use 41 as the
Yes.
default standard. Something tells me somewhere before 41, you felt like shit. Something tells me that. And once we kind of got into that perimenopause kind of barrier, things might have amplified, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
got it. I have a good feeling that there were some signals at that 35 to 40 mark that were like, hey girl, something ain't right here.
There
But we
is.
we pushed through.
There is, and I can show you some of the markers out there for people. I somebody did a chart on breast cancer, and if the breast cancer is linked to hormones,
Mm,
there are literally 50 things that have to go wrong environmentally
yeah.
before the hormones kicks in.
Yeah.
Smoking, arsenic, cadmium, magnesium levels, selenium, things like that. There's so many things that have to go wrong before the hormones get activated for you
Right,
to get
right,
breast cancer.
right.
So I said that's what I said. Let's leave the hormones out of there because without the hormones, I can fix every one of your problems correctly. And I'm going to start with the picture in your mind right now. So picture a refrigerator.
Mm,
You open the refrigerator, it's filled with vegetables. Okay. You open the refrigerator, and every shelf, all the vegetables is moldy,
mm,
completely moldy. See the black mold on the refrigerator right now? It's absolutely moldy. It is disgusting, right? So what do? You close the fridge and you go buy some new vegetables and put it inside the fridge? Or do you clean the fridge first?
depends on the person.
Depends on the person. But if you do not clean the fridge first, what happens to the food that you put inside?
It's just, it's probably going to speed up the speed up the
It's
mold
going to get
spread.
moldy really, really fast, right? Would you eat that food?
Probably not.
No, probably not, right? And so my question to you is always is that, hey, your body from inside is not disease, it is full of crap, toxins that you accumulate over the lifetime. If you do not know what that is, look at your diet
Mm,
and read the labels, what's in that food that you ate, because most eat foods that have labels on them. I don't. I eat foods that have no labels on them because
hmm.
just my banana has no label on it. That's what I eat, right? So if you eat the foods with the labels on them, it tells you what kind of chemicals inside there, and that gets accumulated over time. And what happens that it's not mold, but it's all chemical toxicity that's going to accumulate over time inside your system that if you do not get rid of it, it's going to make it worse,
Yeah.
right? And so you need to have a system to get rid of it. You have to have a system not to put any more new stuff inside,
Mm,
junk. So you do your part, and I can do my part. And my part is to help you clean up. Your part is stop the insults going back into your mouth,
yeah.
right? And I have never met a person, an obese person, that have accidentally eaten anything. They all eat with a choice.
Mm,
So I can't stop eating. I said, well, you sure you can. I don't know how. You can hire somebody to slap you every single time you eat or put a food real close to you. I don't know what you can do about it, but I'm sure there's a way to figure that portion out too. But what I'm saying is that you do your part on limiting the toxicity to zero if possible, going inside your body, and whatever's in the body, I can get rid of it over time. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to happen over time. I can get rid of it for you. And if we can do the two things together, then from 40s to 50s into early menopause will be a blissful because your body can actually perform better, you feel better, and and hormonally, the body says, hey, I can manage my hormones for you. I
right.
don't have to be reliant on some HRT treatment plans from a doctor.
So now, as I'm listening to this, everything you're saying is making sense. So could, and my assumption is working with yeah, using glutathione can make us kind of mitigate some of the oxidative symptoms that we might be experiencing.
So there's only three things you can do to reduce oxidative stress. Three things. One, you can take some products from outside like vitamin C, vitamin E, CoQ10. There's a whole bunch of products that they sell in the markets, right? I put all of them in bucket number one. One bucket, take all the products from outside sources.
Hmm.
Bucket number two is your body produces enzymes to deal with it, which is glutathione peroxidase enzymes,
Hmm.
catalase, superoxide dismutase, or SOD for short. These are the three enzymes the body produces to deal with oxidative stress. It's hard to make enzymes, so the body doesn't make a lot of it, but it's there just to help you out.
Hmm.
And the third thing the body makes is abundantly is glutathione. Let me tell you, glutathione by itself is more powerful than the enzymes and the bucket number one with all the products in the world
Huh.
combined. Everything combined, glutathione is more powerful. So when you say glutathione is good for you, it is not just good for you. It is the ultimate product that your body produces. And by the way, your body can produce them to the last breath.
Oh,
You
wow.
can. You can make it yourself. But if I tell that you can, there's things you can do to make it yourself. Well, that's too hard. Can I just take a supplement? And the answer is no, no, because I may die one day. I may not be able to make these products for you. Oh well, somebody else is making it for me, I guess. Well, no. If I can teach you how to fish,
Mm.
you don't have to go to the market to buy the fish,
Right, right, right.
right? And so my goal today is before the end of this recording is that we're going to teach people how to make your own glutathione in your body abundantly until the last breath on this planet, right?
Gotcha.
Because if you didn't do that, you can reduce all the oxidative stress down on your own, and it doesn't cost you zero.
All right. So how does one make glutathione?
Okay, I'm glad you asked this question. I don't know how you get that idea from. But before you go into making the glutathione, I want to talk about things that can get rid of glutathione levels in your body.
Mm.
Because if I can stop that, I don't have to make more. Like my grandpa used to tell me, to become rich, you don't need to make more money. You just need to reduce your expenses. Because if you have less expenses, all the money you got is way too much than you need. So reduce expenses down. So same thing with glutathione. In order to have more glutathione in your body, you have to reduce your expenses. So what increases the use of glutathione? Chemical exposure,
Mm.
pollution, smoke. Either cigarette smoking, cigar smoking, secondhand smoking, smoking fireplace, thing, whatever smoke
Ah.
is out there. All smokes are bad for you. It depletes the glutathione level. Third thing, which is the most important thing, is alcohol.
Mm.
Alcohol is another solvent, a chemical
Yeah.
that your body needs to get neutralized. The body has to neutralize immediately, otherwise it'll cause so much damage to the body. And to neutralize all that alcohol, your body has to produce glutathione. And that's why I said early on, maybe when you're young, your body's enough glutathione has not been
Right.
tapped into it yet. So you think that, oh my God, I'm invincible, but that thing is going to go south very, very soon, right? And all of a sudden, at my age, 50 plus, I will have one drink and I'll be like buzzing forever,
Mhm.
and I have a hangover. I don't drink that. I don't drink alcohol at all. But what I'm trying to say is that stop the uh, activities or the exposure to all these different chemicals that can deplete the glutathione levels.
Mhm.
Now, I said, what if I cannot do that part? I said, well, then God bless you. You got to do that first. You got to do that first. Then number two is you can take to make glutathione, the body needs three or four things. One, it needs amino acids like cysteine, glycine, glutamine, and I'll give you some ways to get those amino acids from your diet. Number two things it needs is enzymes. The body can produce enzymes, enough of enzymes, if the chemical exposure, the toxic chemical exposure to your body is reduced. The
Mhm.
body can produce enough enzymes, no problem whatsoever. Okay, so that's number two. Then number three, it needs energy like ATP energy from the mitochondria, right? So as you get older, you get lethargic and tired and fatigued because, oh, I have no energy left, and they think that by drinking coffee will give them more energy. And
Mhm.
reality is no, is boosting their movement, but it's not giving them more energy whatsoever. And
Gotcha.
so having the mitochondrial energy is the third most important thing. And to increase the mitochondrial energy, you have to reduce the oxidative stress down. So if you support the uh, depletion of the glutathione, it will it will reduce the uh, exposure to the mitochondria. So you have more energy. If more energy, you can take the amino acids, make it together, and make more glutathione,
Mm.
and everything goes back to normal, right? So you got to do all those things, by the way. And you can't just pick and choose what you don't want to do, right?
Right.
So to make the glutathione, the third most important thing, which we said was amino acids, the three amino acids, glycine, glutamine, and cysteine. The one that is cysteine is the least amount of foods have that. And so people don't eat cysteine-rich foods all the time. Again, go to your favorite AI robot or a search engine and just type it in there, cysteine-rich foods. And you're going to get your choices of vegetarian, vegan, omnivore, carnivore, paleo, Mediterranean. I don't care what diet plan you want to follow. You can get some options.
Mm.
Make sure you have cysteine as part of your diet every single day. Not once in a while, it's every single day, right? If you do those kinds of things, reduce exposure, reduce the toxicities, take the diet that has cysteine-rich foods, support the mitochondria, drink only water, your body can produce enough glutathione forever.
So now everything you just said, I know that there's that person that's like, that sounds absolutely fabulous, Dr. Patel. However,
I know.
maybe it's I don't like to taste the water. Maybe it's I need a good glass of wine. Everyone always has their like, but insert the thing they can't do. Everything you just said nothing seemed crazy. Nothing seemed like
No,
you were asking me to like, change time. You were asking me to just improve some simple habits that
that's
could,
it.
help me naturally produce this.
That's it. And I'm not telling them what to do. I'm doing what telling you what to do. I'm
Right.
doing it myself every day.
Right.
I'm
You're
drinking
you're
alcohol.
living you're a walking billboard for what you just
Exactly.
said.
And so all I'm telling you is, hey, just do what I do. Don't do anything more than that either, right? And so that's a bare minimum. Of course, I have a lot of high achievers. They want to do more than what I do, which is great,
Right.
right? But the least is just do what I'm doing. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm doing what I'm telling you what to do. So I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not saying
Right.
you say it's for you, not for me personally.
Right.
No,
You're
no.
not saying you're a vegan, but I'm seeing you eating a hamburger after.
Exactly, 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 right? And if I do something stupid like that, I made a conscious choice for that one event, and I better market, right?
Hmm.
Like I had a fish about a couple of months ago. I'm vegetarian. Most of my diet is vegetarian, but I had a fish a couple of months ago, and I know exactly what fish I ate at what time and what place and where, right?
Right. And and I always tell people, I was just at dinner last night with a bunch of vegetarian and vegans, and they were saying they're like, for most of their life they were vegetarian vegans, and from time to time they will taste a, animal product, and one of the people are like, a cow was just a big giant piece of grass. And so there was like someone who was just kind of like justify, like there's a person who's like, you can justify anything. And it's like,
Yeah, of course.
it's just a big patty of grass, 'cause that's all they eat. So that's really what you're eating. It's just grass.
I
So,
know.
you could justify pretty much anything. So as someone who's sitting here listening to this, I know that there are, supplements out there. And
Yes,
originally when you first started talking about glutathione, you said as a pharmacist, you're like, I was just trying to figure out, is there a way for it to actually get it into
for
your
yourselves.
cell? Have we found a way, or is it still like a head
Yes,
scratcher?
yes, we did, and this was discovered in 2007.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's recent.
so yeah, but I didn't release the product until 2021.
Mm,
14 years later, I researched the product for 14 years before I released it to the public. And
hmm
I'll tell you the story about that one too, because it's fascinating. Because I was making the liposome form of glutathione, which is the most popular form of glutathione back 20 years ago, right?
hmm
Did not work on my patients, did not work. Then I then I started making injections form of glutathione. I said, hey, what's the best thing I can do is just injection into the bloodstream. My job's done. Once it's
mm,
inside the blood, it goes everywhere in the body, and I'm okay. No, that didn't work either. It did not work because the body actually breaks it apart. All the peptides gets broken down into amino acids, and then it gets useless. I said, "Oh shit! What am I going to do now? Nothing is working." And so that's led me to my discovery of a technology that can actually and get the glutathione molecule, reduce the size, get through your skin, get through your cell membrane, inside your
mm.
cell membrane by the mitochondria. And it's like going deeper and deeper and deeper into different, and we had to use the multiple technologies to get there. Once we got there in 2007, I said, "Oh my God!" I looked at everywhere, and there was nothing like this technology existed in the world. Nothing. And so there was nothing published, no research was done, no articles were published. And so I got into a pickle. I said, what am I going to do with this thing now? So I spent the next 14 years of my life doing research, trying to figure out how much to give you, how often to give you, how long can I give it to you for? Am I going to get results? How fast am I getting results? Am I going to get results forever? Is
Yeah.
this a short-term results, long-term results? I mean, I had so many questions. What kind of results I'm going to get specifically, right? Because as you know, glutathione is not linked with anything.
Right, right.
So all I was doing was reducing oxidative stress down. That's all I was doing. Reducing oxidation, oxidative stress. And by doing so, what it did was it actually unleashed the human potential to fix the rest of the problem. And so I did not put two and two together until recently. I said, hey, I'm getting results, but the glutathione is not known to do that. Why am I getting better results? Like glutathione does not reduce cholesterols and triglycerides.
Mm,
But when you see that, I said, well, it's not glutathione doing it. What is it doing it? What it did was the glutathione reduced oxidative stress down. When it does that part, the body becomes more active and it says, hey, I got to fix more stuff, right? Because the body is too busy producing glutathione all day long and doesn't do anything else. If you give glutathione to the body, all of a sudden the body has a lot of free time to do whatever it wants to do, right? And so that's what we start seeing. And so this is a topical product that we discovered. Again, my goal was not topical. My goal was to have an oral product. I put it in the mouth. It was taste awful. It smells like sulfur. I said, "Oh my God, nobody's going to take that one." But
right.
I didn't care. But the thing is, it was also broken apart, so it did not work. I put a nasal spray of it. It burned my nose off. The pH was so low. So I said, that's not going to work either. Suppository was another option, but suppository, who wants to stick something up the butt every single day for your life? No.
No.
Once in a while, maybe if that's necessary. But as a supplement for the rest of your life, I don't think so. So that was not an option. And so the only route left for me was the topical skin route. But skin is a huge barrier. It's a
Mm,
huge barrier. And so I had to overcome that barrier. Then I had to cell membrane as a second barrier. I had to overcome that barrier. And then get to the mitochondria and making sure that by the time it gets there, it's completely intact. So it doesn't get broken apart. Otherwise, mitochondria will not be able to take those three amino acids and
right,
put it
right.
back together. So that was not going to work. So I had to get through so many barriers. And when I got there, it's like, hallelujah. Now what? Okay. So we're talking today because of this one product that we have discovered, I have literally has transformed my life. I'm 54 today. At age of 40, 14 years ago, I was not a healthy person. I was a little chubby. I had hair, a little bit of hair left, but not much. But I was not healthy. I was a little bit overweight. Not a healthy person, and I was taking 30 supplements per day.
Mm,
I'm down to one supplement, and I've been now have so much energy in my life than before.
mm,
I can work 10, 12 hours a day every single day. I pretty much work 7 days a week now, pretty much. I'm either I'm working at my business or doing research or going to conferences and educating over there. But pretty much every single day I'm working, pretty much. Right. And so I could have done that when I was 40.
mm.
So the overarching message is the less you put through your mouth, the less you do for your body that is bad for you,
Yeah.
the more you get out of your body.
No, I am a big less is more kind of approach. And, you know, you gave several habits, and, we're not asking you to do them all at once.
Yeah.
Take one at a time, and, see, and let it feel good, let it feel easy, let it feel effortless before we start adding on to other habits that you're doing. And, even though he just talked about this great supplement, you know he also talked about the everyday habits he has that support and enhance the supplement that he's taking, so that it's not like, going in and trying to like fight a fire with a garden hose, because I think a lot of us live that like raging fire life and think that, there's I can't remember what it's advertising. There's a TV commercial, and a woman's broken down on the side of the road, and she's like looking at the hoods up. She's like, oh, she's like, what's wrong? And they're like, you can't just throw antibiotics at it. So like this is exactly the same thing. Like, if your body's this broken down car, we can't just throw any type of supplement at it and expect it to like get up and, take you where you want to go. And I really think during this conversation, you've laid out the blocks of like what it is, things that naturally support it. And once we get that natural piece going, how do we now take it and really get that enhancement uh, going with it using a supplement?
Yeah, the supplements are great because it hides minor mistakes. It's never going to hide major mistakes.
Right, right.
So I don't drink alcohol personally myself, but let's see if you had to drink alcohol maybe once or twice a year on a birthday or an anniversary or something, or some event that you have to go to and you had to have a glass of wine for example. Those minor mistakes can be hidden very easily with a supplement.
Right, exactly.
But if you had to drink every Friday,
Or every
no.
day.
Oh, every day is not even a question. Every day is might as well. It's just a whole different scenario. There's nothing I can do
Yeah,
about that one.
right.
Yeah.
So, so we talked about like uh most of the stuff we kind of talked about was like internally, but does these free radicals, these antioxidants, did it also kind of appear on our skin and our
Yeah.
hair and nails and so forth?
Well, the oxidative stress can happen. The skin is the most the largest organ in our body is skin,
Hmm.
and the skin is exposed to the sun the whole time.
Yeah.
So of course, the oxidative stress in your skin is probably pretty high. because of
Gotcha.
exposure to the toxicity of the environment. And so as you start aging, you have age spots. I don't know where they're coming from. Some people call it liver spots, some people call
Mm,
it age spots, some people call it melasma, some discoloration, some firmness, all those things. Everything that your skin is experiencing is somehow linked to oxidative stress.
yeah.
And that causes the damage over time. And once the damage is done, there's a transformation that's happening in the protein molecules and the DNA structure, and sometimes it's very hard to reverse it back to normal. It's really hard to do so. So the key is, can I stop from getting it damaged in the first place?
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm not giving you hope to anybody, but I'm just telling you that I had my dad who was 78 years of age. He was my patient number one to try to take the glutathione product for
Huh.
me until he died in 89, and at the age of 89. He of not of natural causes. It was an accident. He passed away because of accident. But from 78 to 89, he was in his best shape of his life,
Oh,
the
cool.
best shape of his life. So I'm telling you, you are able to regenerate your body as long as you are able to get rid of all the toxic exposure to your body out.
Right. And the other toxin, we talked about eating toxins,
Uh-huh.
smoke, but what about for many people, the lotions and the potions that we might be putting on our bodies? Is that another form of a toxin that might cause our load to go up a little bit?
And it does. It's not it's there. It's not a heavy
Hmm.
because the absorption of all these chemicals to your skin is limited.
Okay.
Is not hyper, but
Mm,
that doesn't mean that it's not happening. It is happening.
gotcha.
Right? Your body, by the time you wake up in the morning, by the time you leave your house, your skin gets exposed to, or your body is exposed to at least 70 different chemicals, 70 different chemicals, from your lotions to shampoos to conditioners to toothpaste and whatnot, right? Makeups and all those things. So that's a lot of chemicals that your body gets exposed to. Not everything gets at a high concentration inside your body, but it's there. And every little insult is adding burden to the body.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that yes, you do everything possible to reduce the toxic exposure. Do I use lotion? I make my own lotion by myself,
Mm,
but that's not the same for everybody else. So if you can try to get natural lotions, try to. I don't use shampoo. I'm privileged that way. Uh, uh, but reducing the exposure to chemicals as much as possible is always a great idea,
yeah, yeah.
right? When you clean your house, maybe you want to wear a glove, a plastic netride gloves, the medical
Uh,
grade gloves, and put a mask on so you don't
mm,
inhale those chemicals. Make sure that your body, your skin is not touching those chemicals coming through the skin, because otherwise it will get inside your body.
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So, where can, we talked about your supplement. Where can people purchase this, learn more about it?
So the most important part is where they can get more self-educated more. Aurowellness.com, AURO wellness.com is my website. There's a section for blogs or learn, and just click on that one. There's a whole bunch of articles I wrote over the last 3, 4 years, 5 years maybe, and it's an amazing way to just to get yourself educated. And what you're going to see is that, oh my God, this has multiple uses. It's not a panacea. Don't get me
Mm,
wrong. But what it's actually doing is that it's only doing a couple of things: antioxidant and conjugation for your liver to help detoxify your liver. But what it's actually doing is, by doing those two work, it is allowing the body to become more efficient. And when the
right.
body becomes more efficient, trust me, no doctor can find the problem better than your own body can. And the body can literally fix your own problems on its own. We just need to get out of the way.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And where can people find you on the socials?
Oh, uh, my personal social doesn't matter. I'm never on the social, but my at Oral Wellness is probably the best one. Is my for my glutathione. I also have a company pharmacy, so it's at Central Drugs RX is my pharmacy as well, and or celldeluxerx.com. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And if you're addressed to me, the questions will come to me directly. My team is very good at transferring all the requests coming to me directly.
Right. Cool. So then I have one question I ask everybody who's been on the show. What is one thing that makes you feel magical? Glutathione?
As much as that is magical, what tops glutathione for me is meditation,
Ah,
mindfulness. Uh, I think that's what's supposed to. And meditation doesn't mean that you sit quiet in a corner with your eyes closed and just do and not and just pray some music or things like that. No, there's so much meditation in everything you do. It's basically your ability to shut your brain down and literally focus on one thing. And if I can do that efficiently, I can become much more powerful than I'm today. And I'm constantly practicing that as much as I can because I am still 54. I have a long life to live, and I want to take this human potential to the next level. And for me to do so, I need my mind. I need my brain to
yeah.
be fully active.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. I've been doing the over 300 podcasts and I have not heard a duplicate. Like everyone comes with something like completely like, I have no idea. For so many people, we've talked about all sorts of things and I have no idea what the answer is going to be. And it's always something I'm like, oh, that's a good one too. So it's, but yeah, I like it. And I've, really enjoyed this conversation. You really broke down, one, the importance of glutathione, but also just really simple things that people can do. And, my big thing is that by this time, and you've mentioned it, we've done it complicated and, we're tired. We don't want to do complicated anymore. We need simple. We don't need a 37-step program to get stuff done. So friends, if you are tired of feeling foggy, inflamed, stuck, this is your reminder your body is not broken. It just might be under supported. And Dr. Patel has really shared some really simple things for us to support our bodies. And feel free to check out his book, Glutathione Revolution. All this stuff will be linked in the show notes. Feel free to peruse his website and just really understand the importance and power that glutathione has and the habits that support, keeping it naturally and not just popping pills to get you where you want to go. And so thank you so much for taking the time with me today.
It's a pleasure for me being here today. Thank you.
All right, guys. And if you've had an oh wow moment during this episode, do me a favor, screenshot it and let us know what it is and tag us on the socials. And I will talk to you guys next week.